Very good evening to you. This is News First Primetime News, live on MTV Sports and Shakti TV. I am Shahin Jurangpati.
And I'm Katharina Chang. But before we get into your stories in detail, let's take a look at your headlines tonight.
President's blessings for a free business environment.
මම කිසිම ව්‍යාපාරයකට අත ගහන කෙනෙක් නෙවෙයි. ජීලික සාක්කුවලට 7-5ක්වත් අපි නෝන්නේ.
Investigations must be held over deals between friends at Colombo Stock Exchange, says the Prime Minister.
අපි විභාග කරන්න ගියේ බිලියන 10යි. ඒවැ 270 ගුණයක් වැඩි වංචාවක් අපි හොයාගෙන තියෙනවා.
Parliamentary committee comprising of 13 members appointed to inquire into the fraud committed at the central bank. Suspect already in prison to be questioned over the murder of journalist Lasantha Wickrematunge. Senior police officers in Jaffna transferred.
President Maithripala Sirisena says he would not try to unduly influence any business or entrepreneur. The President made this statement speaking at an event at the BMICH in Colombo this morning.
The 10th Sri Lanka Hotel exhibition commenced at BMICH, presided over by President Maithripala Sirisena. Scholarships were also presented to students who successfully completed the hotel school course by the President.
අමාත්‍යවරුන්ට නිදහසේ තමන්ගේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න රාජ්‍ය ප්‍රතිපත්තියේ ක්‍රියාත්මක.
The ministers have been given the freedom to implement their policies and the state policies. In addition, I will also ensure the freedom for the businessmen to operate freely. I will not make any unwarranted approaches to businessmen. I will not obstruct anyone. I do not engage in business with anyone. There was a time where the top level of the government would go searching for gems in the rivers. They mine for gems too. You need to develop. Your businesses need to develop, and you need to have an income. You must then give a portion to the government as taxes. That is all we expect. We do not need a cent to fill our own pockets.
ඒ නැතුව අපේ පුජ්‍යලික සාක්කුවලට 7-5ක්වත් අපි නෝන්නේ.
මේ සංචාරක ශාස්ත්‍රයේ
Last year in the tourism sector, we were able to bring 1 million tourists to the motherland. Our aim is to increase that number to 1.5 million or more this year. Therefore, we need to have long-term plans. Your Excellency the President, I believe we can do this with your leadership.
A committee comprising of government and opposition representation was appointed today to inquire into the irregularities said to have taken place over the Treasury bond issue and report on the matter within 2 weeks. The Speaker made the appointment taking into account a proposal that was presented in Parliament.
This committee, which has been appointed as a subcommittee to cope, will be chaired by parliamentarian D.E.W. Gunasekara. The committee includes MP Sunil Handulnetti, Lasantha Alagiyawanna, Susil Premajayantha, Hassan Ali, Saravana Bhavan, Veerakumar Disanayaka, and Ministers Rajitha Senaratne, Arjuna Ranatunga, Iran Vikramaratne, and Sujiva Senasinghe. State Minister Roji Senanayaka is also a member of this committee. A debate is scheduled to take place as the committee report is submitted to the Speaker and Parliament in 2 weeks. According to our parliamentary correspondents, the Speaker had decided to appoint this committee with the aim of making provisions for the MPs and the accused officer to present facts.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the large-scale fraud which took place at the Colombo Stock Exchange and Treasury bonds during the previous regime will be exposed to Parliament. The Prime Minister made this statement speaking to reporters at the UMP headquarters this morning. Trade union representatives and government officials were among those present.
I appointed a committee to look into the central bank. That committee was appointed to look into whether a fraud took place in the auction over 10 million rupees in the month of February. This matter was taken to the Supreme Court. This was done with transparency and it was presented to Parliament. Parliament has now directed it to COPE. We are pleased that this matter is inquired by COPE. We inquired over 10 billion rupees. We uncovered a far more large-scale fraud. These were given to associates at the correct time to sell and money was obtained. All according to the wishes of the associates. There was no transparency in that process. They did not follow the public auction and submission to the tender committee and purchase the bonds. The bonds were purchased by them directly and personally. This is private placement, so that the associates can use them as they please. No one else knew. Especially the primary dealers did not know of this. This is the transparency of the Rajapaksa regime. Here it says that 2,700 million rupees was skimmed. If they sold it and earned 10%, how much have they earned? 270 million? If they earned 100%, 2,700 million. This is what was done to transform their henchmen into capitalists. The money was put into the stock market, and there too, these henchmen had spread their rule. They earned even more in the markets. You can earn a lot in 5 years if you do such a thing. That means in 5 years, I can give each cameraman here at least $1 billion. I have instructed the central bank to inquire into this and provide us with all the information. We will expose it all to the parliament and also who committed this fraud.
කවුද මේ හොරකම කරේ කියලා.
ඊයේ අපි දැක්කා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේදී පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ රාष्ट्रीय නායකත්වයෙන් හදා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ කතා කරන්නේ. ඔව්. රටේ අග්‍රාමාත්‍යවරයාට තමයි ඕක කතා කරේ. කියන්නේ උතුරුණ රූපවාහිනී මාධ්‍ය මිනිස්සු මේව බලනවා. මොකක්ද මේ?
එයා වේලිච්ච වට්ටක්ක ගෙඩිය. පරාජය දැන.
He's a dry pumpkin. This is how defeated people behave.
The Financial Crimes Investigation Division, or FCID, has begun inquiries into the controversial share transaction where stocks of Lanka Hospitals PLC was sold to an Indian company.
On the 14th of this month, the police said that the FCID summoned Colombo-based businessman Vidit Jaivira to provide a statement on a controversial share transaction involving Lanka Hospitals PLC. On the 4th of March 2011, Fortis Global Healthcare acquired a 28.6% stake in Lanka Hospitals Corporation for 3.9 billion rupees. Leading up to this transaction, there was a significant spike in volumes indicative of a group accumulating shares at a price of around 40 rupees. However, 2 days after, Fortis Global Healthcare announced that it had acquired a 28.6% stake in Lanka Hospitals, the stock price stood at 52 rupees. On the 5th of August 2011, the share price of Lanka Hospitals was 37 rupees and 50 cents. Incidentally, 12 days later, on the 17th of August, the share price had skyrocketed to 104 rupees, an increase of 177%. 4 years after, yesterday, the share price of Lanka Hospitals traded at 41 rupees. The unusual spike in the share price of Lanka Hospital 4 months after the Fortis deal poses several questions. Was there a single person or several others privy to information that other investors were not? Were the retail investors taken for a ride? Whose patronage did they have, political or otherwise? According to Section 32 of the Securities and Exchange Commission Act, insider dealing is defined as trading in the shares of a listed company whilst in the possession of unpublished, price-sensitive information in respect of the securities of the said company with a view to making of a profit or the avoidance of a loss. SEC Rules 12 and 13 define market manipulation or the creation of a false market as creation of a false or misleading appearance or impression in respect of the trading market or price. SEC Rule 14 defines front-running as trading directly or indirectly in securities of a company ahead of a significant purchase or a sale of securities of that company for his client with the intent to profit by trading in such securities thereafter. Shouldn't a proper investigation be carried out to determine if insider trading, market manipulation, front running has occurred at the CSE in 2011? Peak.
On to one of our headline-making stories. A number of senior brass of the police in Jaffna have been transferred with immediate effect. Senior Superintendent of Police of Jaffna, Superintendent of Police of Jaffna and the HQI of Jaffna have been transferred. The HQI of Kites too has been transferred.
A Hartal campaign took place today as well in Batticaloa over the rape and murder of a schoolgirl in Punkudutivu, Jaffna. The objective of this was to ensure the security of the North and emphasize that no one should obstruct the activities of the judiciary. Meanwhile, the Lawyers Association of Jaffna refrained from appearing for cases today. It adds that no attorney from the North will appear on behalf of any of the suspects. The association also says that no one should be allowed to loiter in the premises of the courts. Chief Justice K. Pawan and IGP N.K. Langokon also visited the area to inquire into the situation surrounding the rape and murder of a schoolgirl in Punkudutivu, Jaffna. The 130 persons arrested for behaving in an unruly manner during the protest stage in Jaffna on the day the case was taken up have been transferred to the Anuradhapura prison. Attention was drawn to the matter at a number of media briefings organized by various political parties.
This is not something against the government or the military or to create ethnic issue. This is a demonstration staged by the people who are enraged by the rape and murder of the girl.
As
a responsible opposition and as public representatives, we condemn the rape and murder of the schoolgirl in Jaffna. We are of the stance that no such incident should take place again.
Now, the Rambhumi Rally for Unity, which is carrying the message of national unity across the island, arrived at Kuliapitia this evening. Day 15 of the Rambhumi Rally commenced its journey from Negombo today.
The Rambhumi Rally was extended a warm welcome in Negombo this morning. Negombo is a well-known tourist destination in the country and its people bestowed their blessings on the rally. Cultural performances by children added much color to the Rambhumi Rally, which aims to spread the message of national unity and peace across every nook and cranny in the island.
We see many instances where people become divided on the lines of race, ethnicity, religion and caste. I must say that to come here to Sri Lanka and witness the singular voice that you, the people, are raising for unity warms my heart and really lifts my spirit.
It is enough being separated as a race. Sirasa has a huge leadership in bringing the people together as per the requirement of the country. This is a good initiative to stop the racial issue that is there in the country.
I feel proud about this endeavor.
We feel proud about you all for what you are doing. We thank you for what you are doing.
The Rambhumi Rally for Unity then set off to its next destination, Lanka, amidst the wishes of the public. Spreading the message of national unity, the Rambhumi Rally made its next stop in the Pannala town. After a colourful welcome ceremony, the people of Pannala made their contribution to the rally. The Rambhumi Rally, the first of its kind in Sri Lanka, reached its destination for the day, Kuliapitia.
Even the small kid has understood this. It is good that the country is moving forward as one. We want to live as children of one mother.
I express my happiness for this endeavor wholeheartedly as we join hands together for this initiative.
The Ranbhoomi Rally for Unity, organized by MTV MBC, Newsfirst, Colombo Port City and the National Youth Services Council, which will journey to 1,500 towns and cities, will travel from Hettipola to Kurunagala via Ibangamuwa tomorrow.
Welcome back to the news. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera says that the Prime Minister should take immediate steps to remove the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. The Minister made this statement speaking at the media briefing convened by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
Ranil Wickremesinghe මහත්තයා පත් කරපු එතුමාගේ සිරිකොතේ වැඩ කරන නීතිඥවරුන්ගේ කමිටුවෙන්ම කියලා.
The committee comprising of lawyers with affiliations to Sirikota appointed by Ranil Wickremesinghe say that discrepancies have taken place over this deal. The Governor of the Central Bank has been spared and the rest have been nabbed. This is a committee that was appointed to protect the Governor of the Central Bank. They clearly said that a fraud had taken place. If the Prime Minister wants to protect the respect of the country, the Central Bank Governor must be removed. If that cannot be done, he should be made to resign. If he does not resign, he must be removed. We note that an independent investigation must take place over this matter and those responsible must be held accountable.
Now speaking at a press conference convened at the Abhayarama in Narayanpeta, MP Dalasalha Peruma said the process of obtaining signatures for the no confidence motion against the Prime Minister has begun.
We have begun the process to obtain signatures for the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. By 6 p.m. we had over 60 signatures. Ministers, state ministers and deputy ministers too had placed their signatures. The Prime Minister's operations over the Treasury bond issue and the arbitrary amendment of the police ordinance where the police was put under a political force are some of the key issues that we have.
Speaking at a religious event at the Mahavapya Vihare in Ampara yesterday, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa criticized the arrests made by the incumbent government.
A Bodhi Puja religious ceremony took place under the auspices of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Vihara yesterday.
අපි ඡන්දේ දුන්නේ මේ රටේ මිනිස්සු කොමාරි උතුර නැගෙනහිර දුන්නා හංසයට දුන්න මිනිස්සු ඡන්දේ දුන්නේ.
We voted and the people of the north and the east voted for the swan. However, they did not vote to change the Prime Minister. They voted to change the President, that is me. That change took place. But look at good governance. They chased away the SLFP Prime Minister. The Cabinet too has no SLFP representation. Politicians must go to jail, must be criticized and must face allegations. This is not the first time I was accused of something. After the elections in Mulkirigala, an allegation was made against me by this Prime Minister. I was behind bars for 3 months. After a legal battle of 1 year, I was acquitted. It is like an inheritance. If he becomes Prime Minister, it will not be good for me.
The Minister of Housing and Samudi says that he will take responsibility for finances utilized for the welfare of the public. He made this statement at an event held in Tangol today.
The event was held to present loans to 117 low-income earning families in the Sinimodara area, which falls under the Tangol Divisional Secretariat for Self-Employment Initiatives. There are certain groups in the opposition who criticize the loans program that I have initiated. I have utilized money obtained from the Treasury in order to create a change. I have not built presidential palaces in district level. I have used this money for the benefit of the public. But if groups who have lost do not understand how this money is given to the public, then I am prepared to teach them how it's done.
The Criminal Investigations Department sought permission from court to interrogate and imprison suspect over the assassination of senior journalist Lasantha Wickrematunge. The Criminal Investigations Department also informed the Mount Lavinia magistrate that a statement was also recorded from Minister Mervyn Silva. The case will be taken up again on the 17th of June.
Senior journalist Lasantha Wickrematunge murdered in Athidiya. 4 police teams conduct homicide investigations. Vehicle directed to the government analyst. Homicide investigation handed over to the CID. 6 years, 4 months and 14 days since senior journalist Lasantha Wickrematunge was killed. Who are the killers?
The absence of public representatives in Parliament when answers are being provided to the questions that they had raised is witnessed in the House of Legislature over a period of time. There seems to be no difference under the new government as well.
13 oral questions were included into the parliamentary agenda today. However, there were no public representatives present to respond to 11 of those questions. Answers were provided only for 2 questions. These answers were provided by the Prime Minister and State Minister Roji Senanayaka.
Lanka එක ගරු අශෝක අබේසිංහ මහතා නැත රාෂ්ට්‍රාංක දෙක ගරු අජිත් මානපෙරුම මහතා රාෂ්ට්‍රාංක 3 ගරු නලින් බණ්ඩාර ජයමහා මහතා රාෂ්ට්‍රාංක 4 ගරු බුද්ධික පතිරණ මහතා රාෂ්ට්‍රාංක 5 ගරු සුසන්ත පුංචි නිලමේ මහතා මම ආන නියෝජක කරනතුමනි ඉඩම අමාත්‍යතුමාගේ නැසීමට කල්ලිලුණා කතා නැහැ රාෂ්ට්‍රාංක 6 ගරු ඩග්ලස් දේවානන්ද මහතා රාෂ්ට්‍රාංක 7 ගරු රංජිත් සොයිසා මහතා රුපියල් 2000ක ද්‍රව්‍ය ලබා දීමේදී
When goods worth 2,000 rupees is being provided, it has been reported from several areas that food not suitable for consumption has been included in this nutrition pack. Will a program be implemented to rectify this, or will substandard goods be given to the expected mothers?
There were reports of such nature from the Noreli district. I requested a report from the district secretary within 24 hours based on our request. My ministry received this report. I submitted it to the Prime Minister. Those who had committed this wrong have been taken before court and fined 30,000 rupees and 15,000 rupees. We have strictly enforced the law on this matter so that it will not happen again.
MP Susantha Punchi Nilame raised a question on whether the jobs of the staff of state ministers and deputy ministers have been terminated. I wish to tell the MP that if you can submit a name and a ministry, I can direct it to the secretary to look into this and take the required steps. They are from your ministry. I am speaking on the facts that I have been provided with.
A situation has arisen where patients have resorted to protests demanding high standards in hospitals. Protests were reported from the Karapitiya hospital yesterday and from the Negombo hospital today.
Staff and patients at the Negombo district hospital demonstrated opposite the hospital premises today, demanding the 7-story hospital building be renovated.
Since this was vested in the public in 2007, there is water leakage and a malfunction in the electric system. The staff of the hospital and the public who arrive here are faced with the threat on their lives. There are about 5,000 people including staff, patients and visitors at any given time. What we are asking for is an instant solution for this.
A group of area residents of Valapane protested demanding that the Valapane district hospital be converted to a base hospital and its facilities be improved. They also add that the road leading to the hospital too is in a dilapidated state.
There are about 2,000 people living along this road. Earlier there was a bus service, but now it is no more. How can a poor person spend 200 rupees to travel in a 3-wheeler? The district hospital that was in our village was made into a divisional hospital. What I ask is that this hospital be made a base hospital.
Meanwhile, all doctors in the Trincomalee district engaged in a strike action in Trincomalee today. The strike action was staged in protest of the attack launched with a hammer at a doctor attached to the Thurpur Rural Hospital. Our correspondent said that the doctor who was admitted to the Trincomalee Mutturu Hospital was later transferred to the Colombo National Hospital for treatment.
As medical officers, we are not satisfied with the security in the area. What we require is that the individuals who are connected to the incident be arrested.
A cultural centre established at St. Combs Estate in Thalawakale was declared open by General Secretary of the Citizens Front, Parliamentarian Jeshri Ranga.
A warm welcome was extended to MP Jeshri Ranga upon his arrival at the St. Combs Estate in Thalawakale. Thereafter, religious observances took place at the local Kobil. A group including the chairman of the Tea Research Centre, Salat Rangatilaka, and the additional director participated in this ceremony. If you have placed a foundation stone, the stone should not be abandoned. The structure should be built on that. If foundation stones are placed in the Nureli district, it's not normal to go ahead with the project thereafter. They said that if you decide to stay with the opposition, then you cannot see development. But while being in the opposition, I was able to open 24 cultural centers. My aim is not to develop the party. My aim is to make a change in the hill capital. They said that the roads leading up to the line houses cannot be tarred. But go to Mark's Thote Oliphant. We have done everything there. Have done all of this while being in the opposition. I raised my voice against the government as well. They said that I can only achieve development if I join with the government. What is the development they did while being in the government?
The footage in the following report was captured by a Newsfirst team that visited Mana recently to look into the issues and grievances faced by the people in the area.
The Selveri settlement is located along the Mana-Talaimana main road in close proximity to Pesale. People who were affected by the war have been resettled in the area. However, apart from the land that they have been given, they have no other basic facilities to benefit from. People from Mullaitivu, Jaffna and Vaunia affected by the war 15 years ago were resettled in this settlement. Those persons who have been living in this settlement for the past 12 years lament that they have been deprived of basic facilities including infrastructure, drinking water, employment and education. Public representatives are requested to look into this matter and provide a solution.
Confucius said, "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." Here's a look at some of the events that made the pages of history.
On the 22nd of May 1972, Ceylon became a republic within the Commonwealth, ending its status as a dominion, and its name was changed to the Socialist Democratic Republic of Sri Lanka. Another point to note is that when Ceylon declared itself a republic, a new constitution was adopted and it abolished all forms of the country's dependence on Great Britain. William Gopal Lava was appointed the first president of Sri Lanka, while Sirimava Bandaranayake was appointed the first Prime Minister of Sri Lanka.
In sports news, President of the Olympic Council of Asia, Sheikh Ahmad Al Fahad Al Sabah, announced that the OCA had decided to withdraw the third Asian Youth Games from Sri Lanka in 2017 due to problems with the autonomy of the National Olympic Committee from the government.
The 66th Olympic Committee of Asia Executive Board meeting took place in Tehran, Iran yesterday. Speaking to reporters later in the day, Sheikh Ahmad reported that one of the major announcements during the meeting was that the OCA had decided to withdraw the third AYG or Asian Youth Games from Sri Lanka in 2017 due to problems with the autonomy of the National Olympic Committee from the government. Sports First contacted Subject Minister Navin Dissanayake in this regard.
Asian Olympic Committee has met in Tehran today and they have made a decision to withdraw the offer that was made to Sri Lanka to host the Asian Youth Games. I'd like to clarify some points on this statement. Number one, the Asian Youth Games, although was given to Sri Lanka, there was a committee appointed by Mr. Cabral, and we found that when we assumed office in January 8th, and especially after I took over the sports ministry, that no preparatory work whatsoever has been done to host these games. So we found it rather difficult to start from scratch and move forward. Number two, actually what they say in the official statement that there is government interference on sports bodies is totally not acceptable, and I as a minister with a lot of responsibility wish to clarify that we have not in any way interfered in the independent functions of sports bodies. All we have done is asked to hold the elections on time per the legal requirements of Sri Lanka. Number three is, of course, we have to spend about 3 to 4 billion rupees, or $300 million to host this game. So the people of Sri Lanka will have to decide whether their hard-earned money, that hard-earned tax money, should be used to host an event like this and whether there are real benefits for Sri Lanka as a nation. I personally don't think so. So in a way, maybe this is a blessing in disguise for us.
The Secretary of the Olympic Committee of Sri Lanka said that the new government did not give its consent to accept hosting the Asian Youth Games. He added that in reality nothing was done for the Youth Games and went on to say that the amendments to the Sports Act too have not been fulfilled.
And on that note, we wrap up this edition of your Primetime News. I'm Katharina Chang.
And I am Shahan Rampati. Good night and take care.